Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Wow, first of all, Pakistan, we just cannot seem to lose a match. Well, I say that. We cannot seem to lose a series, let's say, in Africa at the moment. It's been a very good, I think, stretch in Africa, obviously winning the T20 and ODI series in South Africa, and now winning the first T20 in Zimbabwe. It was a pretty close one in the end. So before we get into that, though, you know what I'm going to say to you. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel to grow. Share the videos, comment on it, whatever you think. Let me know what you thought of the match. And also, in addition to that, please make sure you click the notification bell to make sure you get alerted to all the new videos. Again, let's help this channel to grow and get out to as many people as possible. Okay, let's get into the review. Pakistan were put into bat first. It was Zimbabwe who won the toss, actually. And they said, you know what, we're going to field. And I think the reason for that is probably because Pakistan in the past, notably recently against South Africa, have been pretty bad defending totals and have looked quite squeaky. And in terms of scoring runs at the top end, first off, we haven't been great. We've actually been better chasing, which is something that's pretty uncharacteristic for a Pakistan team, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But I think nowadays in T20s in general, teams prefer to chase. Right, okay. Let's go straight into the innings then. And before we do, actually, I have to go through the lineup. So the biggest changes for Pakistan, in addition to the usual, I guess, team that we normally have, is Fahim Ashraf was still in there, but as Usman Qadir and Mohammad Hasnain came in for Usman Qadir and Mohammad Hasnain came in for Hassan Ali and also for Shaheen Afridi. So good to see them both get a rest. Nearly forgot that there. And yeah, so the two big guns getting a rest, which was good to see. I thought, I think, look, if we did win this first T20, so I'd say stick with the team, maybe bring in one newer player as well, like we did with Danish Aziz, who came in. He came in for Asif Ali. He did okay, but we'll get into that. In terms of Zimbabwe lineup, for people that are, I guess, not super familiar, you should be hopefully familiar with someone like Wesley Madveher. I'm going to go with Madveher. Wesley Madveher is a really good player and good all-rounder. Bowls off spin and opened the batting today as well. He's a talent. And I talked to Mohammad Rizwan, who plays for Kent, actually, English county, and he said that out of all the players that he played at youth level, because he's the same age, he said Wesley Madveher was the best out of all of them. Craig Irvine, coming off a very good domestic tournament in Zimbabwe as well, he was someone to look out for at 4. Sean Williams, the captain, at 5. Ryan Bell, who's pretty good as well. And the biggest threat, I think, with the ball you look to is Muzrabani. Apart from that, a couple of names in there you might not be super familiar with, but have a look at the scorecard and have a look at the highlights, and I'm sure you'll become more familiar with them. But good to see Pakistan give Zimbabwe a chance by touring them as well and repaying them, because I think it's nice to see the so-called minnow teams play against the so-called top teams and get a chance to improve. That's the only way they will improve. But enough on that. The Pakistan innings. So Rizwan and Babar Azam opened up, the usual pair, and Babar Azam unfortunately went pretty early, a pretty soft dismissal, cutting Muzrabani straight to Burl at point. And that was, let's say, pretty disappointing. But what I would say is Babar Azam has now moved up to number 2 in the T20 international rankings, just behind Dawid Malan. If he has a very good, I think he'll need to have a very good series here. He could potentially usurp him. But we know that the points that you get from playing these so-called Milo teams is a lot less than playing the top teams. So he'll need to score pretty big here. But let's see. Good to see him moving up the rankings after also becoming the number 1 ODI batsman. He got it in a cheap way, but it happens to the best. In terms of, I guess, the track as well, the pitch was pretty bouncy, even more bouncy than the tracks in South Africa, I would say. Super Sport Park in South Africa, the bounce was, yeah, there was a bit of extra bounce, but the wickets were quite flat. The scores were 200 plus for T20s, was the average par score in T20s at Super Sport Park. In Zimbabwe, the tracks always seem to be a bit different. If I'm being honest with you, they seem to be a lot different in a good way, because there's more for the bowlers, I would say. And Muzrabani looked very good with the ball in hand. He obviously, as I said, picked up Babar Azam's wicket, and soon after, Fakhar Zaman went to Madveher, who opened the bowling actually with Muzrabani. So opened the bowling and batting, not a bad little run out for him. and 3 overs for 20 runs, economy of 6.67. He was pretty on the ball. He picked up the vital wickets of Fakhar Zaman, who's a man in form. 13 or 14 for him. Didn't quite get going, did Fakhar Zaman, and he got cleaned up from a very good delivery around the wicket from the off spinner. And then Hafiz, very soft dismissal, hasn't quite looked. Well, he hasn't looked in that imperious form that he did for the past year and a half before this kind of last 6 month stretch. But hopefully he finds and rediscovers that form quite quickly, because I think he's pretty integral to our chances in the T20 World Cup. And Mohammad Rizwan, though, he picked up the slack, and I'll talk about him in a bit, because he carried his bat to the end of the innings and was really impressive at the top of the Pakistani lineup, and really was the only standout. Hafiz, as I said, was softly dismissed from Madhvahir as well. John Joy got a couple of wickets. Dan Aziz 15 off 11 for him, and it was Haider Ali who. I mean, I don't want. I'm not going to rant, because I'm going to give it this series, and if he still hasn't learned his lessons after this series, then you will definitely hear a rant. But for now, I'm going to withhold judgment, because I think he's still very young, and I just think please get over this. Now, this is a delivery that's pretty straight, it's pretty full, and he's gone to try and swing it away towards, I would say, cow corner. Lost his shape completely. He just needs to full face to the bat, drive that down the ground. Don't even need to hit it over the top if you don't want to. Just come on, use a bit of cricket IQ and a bit of cricket brains. He went for 5 off 9, struggling, and once again got cleaned up, trying to basically just slog John Dre. Really disappointing. But as I said, I'll withhold judgment for now. Fahim Ashraf was run out for only 1 run. A bit of a bizarre one, if I'm being honest with you. And Mohammad Nawaz, 9 off 9 for him. Usman Qadir was not out, 2 off 4. But the biggest plus for Pakistan, probably the only plus, I mean, honestly, from the batting display, was Mohammad Rizwan. 82 runs off 61 balls, 10 fours, and 1 6. That's a strike rate of 134. You might say, well, that strike rate is pretty low, but what I would say is that this pitch, especially considering Pakistan probably haven't acclimatized to the conditions, which are different to South Africa, before anyone says, oh, they must be the same. No, they're not. They're pretty different. And the track as well was more bowler friendly and bouncier. It takes a bit of time. He did very well. He was pretty slow at the start, but he got us to a pretty respectable total of 149. He got 20 off the last over. That was a big over for Pakistan, and really helped us propel Pakistan even to a significantly, I would say, better score than what looked like was on the cards, and probably a good thing, because Pakistan only won by 11 runs. And I tell you what, if we hadn't hit 20 in that last over, we could have easily lost this game even, sorry. And in terms of the bowling, Amuz Rabbani was very good, 4 overs for 22, 1 wicket at an economy of 5.5. Nagarava, even, sorry, the left arm spinner, 4 overs for 48. He was pretty expensive, went for 12 and over and 1 wicket. John Dre, 2 for him, 2 for Madhvahir, as I said. And Madhvahir bowled. He didn't open up. Sorry, it was Masakadza. Sorry, did. He was very good. Madhvahir was 2 overs for 2 wickets, 11 runs at a 5.5 economy. Bowles was pretty good as well. 3 overs, 15 runs at leg spinner for only 5. And Williams 1 over for 7 runs. Okay, on to the Zimbabweans, because this is where it gets a bit more interesting, I would say. Now, Cameron Conway and Madhvahir opened up. Madhvahir looked good whilst he was in, 14 off 9, but he fell soon after. Hasnain bowling into the surface. It was high on Madhvahir's back, trying to pull him away. I think got a little bit beaten for pace, for being honest with you, and could only loop it straight to mid-off. Again, he got a wicket in the next ball. Maramani, the number 3. I haven't seen him before, and I didn't see much of him at all, because only 1 delivery. He went, again, similarly, left-hander tried to go over the top of mid-on, hit it straight to the man at mid-on. Hasnain on a hat-trick, and his first two overs, were fantastic. And he finished with figures of 4 overs for 27 runs, 2 wickets, and an economy of 6.75. Definitely one of the standouts. And there were a few, to be fair, for Pakistan in the bowling, which was good to see. Irvine, he definitely put up a fight, 34 of 23, and put on a very good partnership with Cameron Conway. They actually put on 56 runs off. It was nearly 8 overs, so pretty decent partnership. And about 7 and over, that's what you really needed at this point, to be honest with you. He was good. But before he fell, Cameron Conway fell, 29 off 35, stumped by Hafiz, tried to up the run rate because he was struggling to get to above 100 strike rate. His strike rate only 82. Charged down the ground, completely deceived. Hafiz went wide around the wicket as well and stumped. Very, very good and clever bowling from Hafiz, who finished with very good figures of 4 overs for 21 runs, 1 wicket, and an economy of 5.25. In addition to Conway, obviously, Irvine then fell pretty soon after, which didn't help Zimbabwe's case because the 2-set batsmen went very soon, one after the other, in a space of only 3 balls. And it was Irvine who fell for 34 of 23, some very good shots in there, 3 fours, 1 6. He was a top scorer in the domestic competition for Zimbabwe as well and brought that form in, a strike rate of 147. But unfortunately fell trying to play this bizarre reverse shot over short third man. And Usman Qadir, who was pretty expensive in his first 2 overs, he came back really well in his last 2 overs. He picked up Irvine, and that was a very good wicket from him. And soon after, he picked up the wickets of Williams and Chakaba. Can't even say it. Sorry for butchering the names. Chakabva even. Williams and Chakabva he picked up in the same over. One was caught. It was Williams who tried to go big, hit the man at Cal corner, and then soon after, Chakabva went really good googly and wrong from Usman Qadir, and Usman got him LBW, really good delivery. 2 wickets from that over, and he finished with very impressive figures of 4 overs for 29, 3 wickets, and an economy of 7.25. And one of my subscribers said to me during the live stream that, you know what, he's not bowling very well. And that was after the first 2 overs. He definitely brought it back. So really, really just unbelievable resilience, I would say, from Usman Qadir. I know it's only Zimbabwe, people might say, but the fact that he got hit and then came back, I think he was going at 10, 11 and over in the first 2. To bring it back like that was really impressive, and it shows good resilience on his part. So good to see, and props to Usman for coming back like that. In addition to that, in terms of the bowling, Fahim was pretty good. 2 overs for 16, 8 and over. Nawaz 2 overs for him, 15 runs, 7.5. And Haris Rauf, who I'll touch upon because he picked up the last wicket of Ryan Bell. He was 14 off 13. At one point, they only needed 37 of the last 3 overs. And they had Bell and Jonjwe in. And I tell you what, it looked like they might do it because Bell hit Hasnain for 6 off the last ball of his spell. And then Jonjwe came in and was just hitting Haris Rauf. He hit him for this unbelievable shot. It was a full delivery and he just went down, paddle shot even, just flicked his wrist. And then next ball, it was 4. And then the next shot after was 4 over, mid-on, flat bat. Really good shot. Back-to-back 4s and you're thinking, oh no, this could happen. But luckily, it wasn't to be, as Haris Rauf picked up a wicket in the last ball of that over, got Ryan Bell with an absolute beauty of a Yorker. Unbelievable delivery from Haris Rauf. In-swinging Yorker to the left-hander, flicking the edge of the off stump. Just unbelievable delivery. Ryan Bell was like, what can I do? Falling over almost for such a good delivery. And Jonjwe definitely did his best. 30 or 23, 3 fours and 1 6, and look, good to see him with a nice little knock there. Masakadze 2 or 4. So as I said, they needed 37 or 3. Then it became, I think it ended up being something like 28 of the last 2. They actually needed 15 of the last 3 balls. And it was just crazy because at that point in time, they just flicked it into mid wicket. And I'm thinking, why are you not trying to hit that for 6? Because it's still doable. You need 6, 6 and a 3 and you're done. But look, it would have been very tough anyway. Pakistan won by 11 runs. Very good last over from Haris Rauf. Very, very miserly. And yeah, really impressive. 4 overs for 29, 1 wicket and 7.25 economy for him. Okay, I think that's all from me. Pakistan continue their winning streak, which is good in terms of, winning important games anyway. Let's see if we can win the series. Fingers crossed we do. And look, we've just beaten South Africa home and away in the Test Series, ODIs and T20, so I'm happy about that. And also happy about this performance. Yes, some things to work on, but I'm hoping our batting will look better once we've acclimatized. And in terms of the bowling, nothing really too much to talk about because I thought it was very impressive. Nice to see Mohammad Hafiz back as well. 4 overs, 21 runs and 1 wicket at 5.25 economy for him. And I was very happy about that. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next video.